All right, we're recording. Okay. If you just came into class, I showed something that was like just notes, something private between projects, and I'm not going to record it because I don't want it out there on YouTube. Um, but these are all the static site generators, and I'm going to do this again. You know, you're tired of me doing this. You can use all of these because for the third and last time, there is more similar between all of these CMSs than there are different. And how I teach is I want you to figure out where all of the concepts are, where what is evergreen between all of these, right? Because what we do, you know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago is different than what we're doing today, right? But what you can't say is, well, you know, I only learned how to use Gatsby in your class, Colin, and my client wants to use Hugo, and I just want you to go, okay, there's more different, I mean, there's more similar between these two than there are different. Okay. And that's what we're working on. All right, today's gonna be a fun one. Today is going to be this idea of getting of rich data. Okay, so we're logged into the Master Professor pen. We're logged into our data project. We have our sample data here up on the course website, and we're ready to get to work. Okay, so you've already watched like why this stuff needs to exist. Okay, and if you haven't already done so, please rewatch these two. Okay, we're not going to rehash content modeling, and we're not going to rehash the Jamstack. But if you do need a little bit more, there's a link out here to jamstack.wtf. I need this WTF domain name, by the way. I don't know how much it costs, but I want Manikoff.wtf. So this has become a thing, I guess. All right, so there's that. Okay, and we also today we're going to be taking a look at rich media. How do you manage audio, video, and images more easily? Like if you jump toward the bottom, like I want you to be your own YouTube. I want you to be your own SoundCloud. Okay, you want to give your clients and yourself complete control of your content. And you also don't want a phone call in the middle of the night. Like, can you please stop saying that? No, because it's true. Right? If you go work for a company and you're making a manual edits, you got to stop and pause and go, whoa, 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 this is 2020. Like we didn't do this in 2010. Why are we still doing this now? Okay. You do not want to manually edit things. Other than being efficient, it's error prone. Like pragmatically, it's very, very error prone. Okay. All right. So then this is the Redux right here. Okay. You want to manage the content, not the design, not the deployment, not the version control, right? We have all different tools to do this. Okay. Design, you take care of that. Deployment, that's on Netlify. Version control, that's on GitHub. Okay. We want a way to easily model content, which we're going to do. And then we also want to be able a way to pull it into whatever device we want. And this is what last of the recorded lecture was about, right? This idea of pull it into any device, right? I still want to make this. I'm a few years behind on the smart mirror because we can't get funding for it. I want to make a smart mirror. Okay. And they exist and they're kind of expensive, but you know, it's basically a glorified dashboard, which we've done, right? Just not to a mirror. So if you haven't already done so, or you need a graduation gift, okay, these are very, very cool. I should take the one of, I have one, I have something similar in my house. I don't know if I want to show it, but right, something like that. All right, good here. Any comments on smart mirrors? Oh, quick tip: just hit the space bar and you can start talking. Okay, why would you want this? This is where UX and Web3 are the same class to me. You're like, why would anybody want this? You're telling me I can also check for kale in my teeth for my breakfast, and at the same time look at my schedule? Like, really? This is awesome. Yeah. So these are really expensive. If you can see here, right, they're thousands and thousands of dollars, and you can make one very, very cheaply with just like a Raspberry Pi. So yeah, this is a good thing to ask for. Okay, so smart mirror, right? In my basement, unfortunately, is a mousetrap that is Wi-Fi enabled, right? And I can still get that data. It's the same thing. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so we have smart mirrors. All right. So we've all been to Unsplash, okay? up on this page right here, I need you to download these two Unsplash images on sample data. Okay, go ahead and download these locally. Now, if your connection is slow or you don't want to do this, I will provide you with the URL. Okay, but I just want you to be aware that these are really big files, right? This is 3 megabytes. I believe this is another 3 megabytes. Like, they're huge. They're massive, massive files. And what we want to do, right, and what we had to do in Web 1 is that we had to take this massive file, which I'm going to throw up here in just a second. Right, we had this massive file, and in Web 1, whoops, right, and in Web 1, right, we had to load this file in. Ready? Watch what happens when you zoom in. And then we had to use CSS to do what to it? CSS had to squash it. Well, we still had to load this massive file. Isn't there a better way to do this? Right? On my watch, I want to see this size version of this image, but I don't want you to have to load the big one and then shrink it down. It's never going to load on my watch, even on a mobile device. Right? This is a huge file, but on a 5K display, right? I want this. I want the full resolution. Well, how do we get the best of both worlds? Okay, and so that's why we need to be able to deal with this. All right, so we have all that. And again, if you can't download these files, okay, I will provide you the URLs. And the concept of what we're learning right here is basically, if you want to get into this, and we kind of spoil this thing, be your own CDN. And that's what we're looking for. How do you become your own content delivery network? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and log into Dado, and we're going to create a new project. Again, if you can't follow along for whatever reason, I'm going to provide you the URLs. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. Okay, I'm going to call this blank project from scratch. Right, and we're going to call this thing DIY CDN. Right, do it yourself CDN. Okay, and Dado makes this super easy. Dado is basically saying, look, host your own images, host your own audio, host your own video. Like, we got you covered. And if you have too much video, too much audio, and too many videos, like, we'll charge you a little bit more. Right, and you can scale up and scale down. Right. So let's go ahead and create this, because GitHub doesn't want this. GitHub does not want you throwing all of your media up there. It's like, no, that's what not GitHub is for, right? You're gonna blow up your GitHub repo. Your repo is gonna be massive, just like an InDesign file. Just like an InDesign, you keep your assets away from the actual InDesign file itself. So the other reason is GitHub does not want to pay the cost of supporting your stuff. All right, so we've created a brand new project. Okay, we're going to delete this at the end of class, right? This is just our sample project to make sure we understand this. Okay, and again, this is a good way to learn something. Go into DIY CDN. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and enter into the project, and we're going to make sure that we can do what the lectures were about, right? Like, can we create our content models for this? All right, so we get into here, and everything is blank the way it should be. There's nothing. That's the whole point of all this. This is awesome. It's blank. Like, this is essentially like truly a blank canvas for us to work with. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into models. All right. Again, models are your templates, like your prototypes for how content should look. Again, records are every time you use that, and then the fields are the stuff inside of the records. Again, refer to my lecture. I can't see faces right now. Normally in class, I would look at your face, and depending on the look you gave me, whether or not you watched the video. All right, so let's go ahead and hit this plus button. Okay. All right, the first one we're going to work with is images. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and save this model. All right, so this model, this is basically the template. Like, we're going to, one of the projects we're going to work on is I'm going to create a graduation page for graduates. Right? How would you model graduates? Wait, what is the model for y'all? Name, right? What else? Hometown, maybe? What else? What would be more similar?
Major.
Major, right? Probably all the same majors, but all the design majors, yeah. What else was similar? Megan, what are you eating? I'd rather talk about what you're eating than. Oh, sure, mouth is full. All right, name, major, hometown, right? Favorite music, favorite food, something like that. Good there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and save this model. Okay. Oh, must be unique in model ID. Oh yeah, we got to do something else. Image. Go image singular. All right, image singular. Images is like a reserved word. All right, so now we have this model for image, right? We're going to add in a new field, and this is going to be a single asset, right? Because we're going to make this thing super simple. All right, and we're going to call this thing image, and this is images. All right, let's just call it pick. Make it easy. Image pick. Okay, what's it? Here, let's be more specific. Image file, right? This is the actual file that actually gets uploaded there. All right, sorry, Megan, don't choke. Okay, all right, hit save. Okay. All right, so now we got that model. Now we have a field, right? So we're going to use the image model. There's a field for the file, and every time we use that, we're going to have a record. Okay, again, if you're just watching, that's fine for right now. I will provide you the CDN. All right, so now we're going to go into content, right? So we have this model, just like students, right? Name, hometown, social media, favorite band. Yeah. All right, let's go into image, and we're going to create a new record because every time we use the model, it's a record. And our image pick is a field inside of that. We can have lots and lots of fields. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit save on this, and then we're going to upload these massive files. Okay, so these files are 3.4 megabytes. They're huge, right? 2.7 megabytes, right? And Dado is just saying like, whatever, like I will digest all of this and I will take care of all this for you. Just throw it up there, and we'll take care of this. All right, so this thing is slowly updating, right? Uploading because it's big, but we're gonna deal with this. All right, so this is our first piece of media. Okay, all right, we're gonna deal just with one piece of media, and you're gonna be blown away, and then you're gonna be like, this is awesome. I'm never going back to having an IMG folder. Your days of having an IMG folder and then managing all of that are over. Okay, I can't stress you enough. Throw a thumbs up for that, right? You have all these files up there, like thumbnail, full size. Like our Web 2 approach doesn't work anymore. Well, it works. It's just cumbersome. All right, so now I'm going to go into media. Oh, I forgot to hit save. Okay, so we have to use the terminology. We created a record that is an instance of the model, and we have one field in our model called image pick. All right, so now if I go into media, like, oh, big whoop-de-doo, Colin. It's like we have one file that I can, show the grid view and the list view. Okay, now what you don't see here is can manage all different types of data, right? Your PDFs, your spreadsheets, like you can even make an archival version. Like this is a really nice manager, okay? But that's not where this CMS shines. If we get into the actual file itself, right? There's all the XIF data, right? The metadata for the image. We can set all of that. What I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to copy this URL, and let's get into CodePen, okay? And I'm going to put it at the very, very top here because I have Markdown in here. All right, go ahead and make a new pen, make a new CodePen. Actually, we might be able even to put it inside here. All right, I can't do Markdown inside of here, so I have to write this all out. So what I want you to do here is go ahead, and you're like, okay, Colin, I did it. I know you're going to have a massive, massive image on before all of your content. What's the big deal here? Well, say you wanted to resize this. How would you do that? I'm going to ask you legitimately, if you wanted to resize this, how are you going to do that? Hit spacebar, talk. We need to know how this makes your life better. How does this make your life better? Why am I teaching you this? How would you change the image size on this massive image?
Change the width in the CSS.
Yeah, you could, right? You could, right? So Evan, that's perfectly valid. But what's the downside to this?
You're still loading in the full image.
Right, you're still loading in that massive image. It's still there, right? You're still loading in a 3 megabyte image on a LT on a 3G connection, right? All right, so there's one way. What's the other way? I'm going to keep that in there so it doesn't get into my content. What's the other way? We have to look at how it is before we can take a look how it actually betters.
You
Can
can,
you just make it responsive?
Right, sure to say that again?
I just said make it responsive.
Yeah, right, and which we did, right, with this CSS, right? How else can we change the size of this? So you're on the right track. So let's say I asked you to take this image and put it into Figma and say, give me a mobile, a tablet, and a desktop version. How would you would have to do what? Once you put it into Figma or Photoshop or anywhere else, what would you have to do?
scale.
What was that?
Scale. I don't know. Scale it down. Is that what you're talking about, or?
Yeah. How about how many times? If I wanted 3 sizes, how many times would you just have to do it?
3.
All right. So now, what if I have multiple sizes? How many times do you have to change it?
Every time you need a different size.
All right. You're all getting bored, which I understand. Yeah. Now, what if I wanted it in sepia?
You apply a filter.
So you'd have to go into Photoshop or Figma, apply a filter, and export it out 3 more times, 3 plus more times, right?
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second. Is that how you want to spend your day?
Could you make it a component?
Oh,
Like can you make it like a parent or a component so you'd only have to change it one time?
yes, you could, definitely could, right? That's okay. And the Figma component, yeah, right. And that is a great way to do that, right? Make it basically a component or a symbol inside of Figma and do that, right? But all that takes time, right? And if you wanted to make the change quickly, right, it's not fast enough. So all of those work, right? Good, better, best, good, better, best, right? So you just identified a better solution. Right? My son's hitting me with something right now. Hey, dude, I'm in the middle of class. Go do something. Okay. All right. That's on record. There's a better way, but there's got to be a bestest way. All right. So if I'm belaboring this too much, then you're all right. And I would definitely take the component approach. If you're not using components and symbols inside of your workflow, do so. All right. So I'm gonna get back into this. So what's the better way without having to move this out of? What I'm trying to get at is the content's already here. Why can't we just edit it while it's here? That's one way, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Watch, and then we're gonna go ahead and click on Edit Image. Okay. And right, and I can make all those changes here. I can crop it, I can filter it, I can flip it horizontally, I can change the aspect ratio. And some of you might be thinking, well, that's not that big of a deal, but this is destructive, correct? It's destructive because I'm changing the original file. Yes, I can always undo it, but I'm changing the original file. Heck, I can even come in here and mark it up with text if I wanted to. Right? And this is destructive. And the bestest way is to do this non-destructively, right? So where we don't edit the file. What this is going to do is allow you to quickly, right, iterate. And that's what we're looking for. All right, so here's one way, which is good. Good, better, best, good, better, best. We're gonna take the bestest solution. All right, I'm gonna copy that URL, okay? I want you to do this. Take this long URL that we had right there. Right, and I'm belaboring this point because I really want us to understand why this exists. All right, so we know we need responsive design. And like I said in Web 1, Web 2, I was like, I cannot wait to show you there's a faster and a better way to do this, right? Don't load the desktop version on the mobile and vice versa, okay? All right, inside of, every time you search for something on Google, let's see here. Can y'all taste the difference between Sprite versus 7-Up?
Yeah.
I cannot. Colin, why are you talking about this? Because this is all these methods. Right? This is static site generators. They're more different than they are similar. If you take a look at the query string right here, there is a question mark in front of there. That's called a query string. Every time you search for something, right, it adds in a question mark and then it puts in all this stuff after it. Okay. This is fundamental to what we're doing in Web3. I'm pausing on query strings, right? This idea of when you search for something, right, it's going to put in user. Sometimes it does this poorly and it puts your password right into your query string. Like it's putting your password right in front of the world, which is a terrible website. I'm not going to point them out. You might know who they are. Anyway, right, we want to be careful of that. So if we use this same query string, what we can do instead is a part of Dato's documentation here is you get this thing called ImageX. So behind the scene, Dato runs this software. Okay, so we understand what query strings are. And behind the scenes, Dato runs this thing called ImageX, right? And this is commonly used. Okay, I want you to grab that URL in a new tab, question mark. Okay, and let's go ahead and address this idea of sepia. Okay. I want you to go ahead and put in a question mark and then type in the word sepia, and I'll paste this into there. And then an equal sign. I want you to type in 100. All right, so I'm going to copy this string. Right, what happened to your image? What happened to the image? Here is the original. Here is the sepia version. Look, did your image go to sepia? Was the original image destroyed? No, the original image is all still there. So just like on your phone, so you can crop and make all those filter changes, you can always go back to the original. So then I think your design team looks at this and goes, oh, cool. That's too much sepia. Can we have half sepia? Now, the first designer goes, now I have to download this, put it into Photoshop, export it out again, upload it again to the website and go, rah, 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 right? Is that how I want to spend my day? The other designer goes, how's that? Because 50 is half of 100, correct? Yeah. So from this, we can do quite a whole lot, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at, halftone. I don't know. We can halftone an image, right? And halftone says HTN, HTN10. So we can replace this. All right, don't sepia and halftone, by the way. That would be kind of weird. Okay, so let's go refresh this image here. Okay, and what we're doing is we're just adding, we're appending to this, right? Oh, there's a halftone of 10. Your design team goes, oh, wow, how about 100? That's really, there you go. Do you begin to see how this is the bestest solution? Because we haven't destroyed the original and we can iterate on this. Oh, if my children weren't in the room, I would curse. I don't care that I'm being recorded. Right? Do you see how quickly and how fast we can move on this? And so we can do both, okay? We can do halftone. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that and paste it right into there. Okay, and so let's take care of the basic one. Okay, let's go ahead and resize this thing. Size. All right, we can come into size. Heck, we can change the aspect ratio. We can change the minimum height. Ooh, we can even use fit. What does fit do? Fit clamp. All right, let's try fit clamp. I don't know what fit clamp does, but we're going to use it. I'm just reading the docs. Oh, let's use crop instead. All right, so we're going to crop to that size. Okay, so I'm going to come into here and right after the query string, after the question mark. So here's the original file. Right, you're going to put a question mark in there, and we're going to be using a lot of query strings to deal with our content. All right, this is how we're going to get our content in and out of the CMS. Right, we're going to be able to. I make this thing 400 by 300 so I can see this. Okay, look how easily we're changing the size of stuff. Okay. So we did a little bit of this in Web 2. You see me use it all the time in class, right? I use placehold, right? Placehold.it and then /100. Okay, it's essentially a query string. Okay. Now, okay. See how this one says 500 by 500? Well, I can grab that same image. And one of the things that you'll get to, heck, we can even change the background color if we wanted to. What I'm going to do now is actually just change the text on this. So, Colin was right. I just made a sample image of whatever size that I wanted it to be, and I threw text on it in no time. So So they're going to go to one designer. Hey, can you make a whole bunch of thumbnails that say Colin was right? And the first designer going to go, oh, all right. And all of our workflows and all of our shortcuts are great. Those are good, better solutions. But there's got to be a bestest solution, right? And this is just serve it right up to the website. Why are we downloading it, making a change, uploading it again, right? We're trying to reduce that workflow. So we've been using query strings this entire time. Every time you search for something on a website, it uses a query string. And now we're unpacking it and saying, oh, this is what it is. We've been using this the entire time. All right, we could be here all day, right? There's even a face detection, okay, where you can detect faces on your images, okay, and it'll go right to that face. Dado has a really fun example here. All right, here is the original image on Dado, right there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that into a new tab. Right, and so there are two faces in here, and that's the query string. And if you take a look at it, oops, okay, they added in a bunch of queries. So there's the question mark, right, and the question mark separates the URL from the options. Okay, good way to think about this. Okay, this is fit the face, right? Find the face, right? Here's the padding around the face. Make a mask. This is how big the face should be. This is the format. You're changing the format of the image too, right? And at the same time, they're putting text on top of it. And so if I copy this ridiculous query string, right, and then paste it in instead, look what happens. Isn't that awesome? And the image, the original image hasn't changed. It's non-destructive. And that's one of the major benefits of a lot of tools, right? That's why Photoshop is so great. And that's why we teach you in 216, like non-destructive methods for changing things. Okay, because sometimes you might want to get to that original, but you also want to be able to iterate on it quickly. All right, good. Check. Any questions on images? We changed sepia, we changed the face. Okay, we were able to resize. All right, throw up an emoji. Okay. You're gonna make a portfolio, right? And I don't want you to have to go in and go, oh, I gotta make thumbnails. No, just spit out that same URL and put at the end of it, change the size. Right? Normally this when a class goes, ooh, but y'all can't do that. So hopefully you're oohing and eyeing on your end. All right. So this allows us to iterate very, very quickly. Okay. You can edit straight inside of the CMS. Here is a nice graph that somebody made of a query string. As a designer, like I say in Web 1, like just get used to looking at URLs. Always keep looking at URLs. It's one of my major gripes of Apple is Safari hides the URL. When people make that joke about, breaking the internet. No, you break URL strings, you break the internet. Right? And they're getting really, really bad. But there's that query string, right? The question mark. Okay. This is basically everything to the left becomes the thing on the right. Right. And we're just doing all the assignments. Okay. And you understand this from Web 2. Right? Assign what's on the left to what's on the right. Okay. You can have many, many parameters. All right. So there is your breakdown of a query string. Lastly, the good way to take a look at this is you get all of this included in your plan. It is expensive to deliver images. Right? It can get really, really expensive. And the fact that we get all this with zero setup, you shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. You should know how it works and you should be able to use it. Right? And so you shouldn't have to get it all set up. And there's lots of services like Kraken and so many others. So what are we going to say to our clients? Right? We can say, all right, we need more money so we can optimize our images, right? Or the other way around is you're going to be spending a lot of your time optimizing images. It's got to be one or the other. All right, so that takes care of images. We've already talked about Redux as a broad overview. Let's see how we can deal with audio. All right. So if there are no other questions on query strings and images, All right, so I'm going to go back into settings. I'm going to create a different model here. I'm going to add a new field. And the first one, I'm here. So I'm going to create a new model down at the bottom. Okay, so we have this image model. Now I'm going to make an audio model. And what we're going to do before class ends is set up a project for our soundboard. No, we haven't left our soundboard. Right? But like I said in that project, I don't want to have to upload all these images. I mean, all these audio. Like I want you to be able to add in your own sounds. So we're going to call this thing audio. Hopefully we can create that model. Yay. All right, we're going to add a new field to this. And we have a couple fields that we should probably add to this. Oh, we're already running along. Darn it. We might not be able to do that. All right, so first off, we're going to need a title for the sound because I want to know what the sound is. So, right, name of sound. What is the sound that I'm uploading? So I'm going to hit save on that. And then I'm going to add another field for the actual sound file itself. Okay. I said this in my video. Designers, I cannot stress to you how easy this is. Talk to past Web3 classes. They had to open up a JSON file and modify this manually. Like you all get this nice point and click GUI. All right, so this is the actual sound, and here is the sound file. Under the presentation tab, I didn't talk about this in my what's it called? Screencast, but this is a good thing for your client, right? You all seen, hey grandma, use this one. That same thing, right? No, you don't know what I'm talking about here. Hey grandma, Wi-Fi network. I gotta find it. There's a Wi-Fi a network that someone made called Grandma. This one, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my. Right. But what I'm trying to get at, there you go. Okay, what I'm trying to get at is you have these additional fields, these additional notes. Sorry, additional notes you can add to a field that helps your user understand what it is. All right, so again, we've created a model called audio. We have two fields in this model. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to content. Right, and now instead of uploading an image, I'm going to upload an audio. And the first one is, I believe it's a bass sound. All right, so let me take a look at this. All right, this is a bass. Right, upload that. Notice it says, "Hey grandma, put your file here." Right, like this is good user experience. Otherwise, someone might know, like, well, what goes in here, right? We can even edit the metadata from here. Hit save on this. Right, wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, are you going to be the designer doing this? No. You give this to your clients. You train your clients how to do this. You train your team how to do this, and you go back to doing what designers do best: design. But you want to design with real content. We talk about that in UX3 a lot. Like no more dummy content. Design real content and get real content into there. I'll go ahead. Let's go create a new record here. All right, this next one is chant. Apparently it's called chant. Sounds like someone breathing heavily. Okay, I'm gonna paste that into there. And then the next one is a clap. Oh, it's very loud. Did y'all hear that? No. I hit save on that. And all right, so while we're going through this drudgery is I need you to be able to do this. This is what we're going to be doing for our soundboard project. You're going to upload your own sounds into your own project inside of Dado. We're going to pull that out. We're going to pull all of that out. Okay. And then you can make your friends collaborators. Oops, we didn't do that at the beginning of class. We need to do that. You're going to invite me to your project or any of your other friends as collaborators and go, hey, add your own sounds, record your own sounds. Yeah. All right. So then we're going to go, I'm going to go back into media. All right, what do we want? Clap, chant, or wave? Colin, I want chant. Great, thanks. Okay, chant just sounds Chant sounds kind of weird. I'm gonna use bass. Okay. All right. So here's bass, and I'm playing this, and I can preview it here. Okay. All right. UX class. Look, we're focusing on the content and nothing else. I'm not looking at HTML to look at the content. I'm looking at the content. Being able to switch this mental model is a really important and fundamental shift in how we do this. Right? And I can't stress that enough. But anyway, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to copy the URL, right? And I'm going to paste it into the the Professor Pen. Okay. Good. All right. Now, let's not call it the master. There we go. All right. So I pasted in the Professor Pen so that we can do this. Audio, right? We're going to use the audio element. Let's go ahead and make a new pen. Let's go ahead and CodePen, make a new pen inside of CodePen. CodePen.io/pen. I'm going to save this thing as into, you can call it my own SoundCloud. Is SoundCloud still a thing? You know, that's forever on recorded now. Colin asks you a question in third person and no one responds. I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to put it into my annual review. So tell me what your teaching style. Well, I ask my students a question and this is what it sounds like. All right, so we're going to use the audio element as we know from Web 2, right? And we're just going to paste that in there, okay? And of course from Web 2, right, we want to see the controls on this thing. So we're going to use the controls attribute, like all easy stuff that we know. Hit the play button on this, y'all, and you have your own sound from your own content, from your own CMS. It's massive. Okay. While we're here, let's I'm gonna change this back to DIY, SoundCloud, and YouTube, and let's do YouTube while we're at this. All right, this one, I'm gonna do the same thing here, but before I move on to video, right? Just show of hands, right? We're good on audio. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's get save on that. Okay. Or you can come to the 3 o'clock lecture for CSS specificity in Web 1. Come to that one again. You should give it. At this point, you can give a lecture on specificity. You can. All right, done with images, done with audio. Even inside of here, I believe you can edit it. All right, last, what's it called? Model. All right, back into settings. We're going to create our third model. This one is going to be called video. Save this thing, and the video is going to have two things. Probably need the name of the video, so that should be a single line text. Okay, something. This is going to be name of video. Hit save on that. We're going to need a field to upload the video, so probably only want one video, but look, this has an option to be pulled in from YouTube or any other source. We're going to do a single asset, and this is the video file. Save on that. All right, and just so we're familiar with this, make sure that we had in a third field. Why don't we add in a color field? What am I going to do with this color field? I don't know, but I want it into this, right? Maybe I want to associate a video of a color, and that would be kind of cool, right? That each video that plays is the background color is different, right? So maybe in my presentation here, it says grandma, okay? These are, a color field is just cool. That's it. Okay. We're gonna hit save on this while I look up the grandma remote. I love grandma, by the way. She's the best. All right. Same thing. Colin, what does grandma remote have to do with this? We're isolating our, right? We're not taking a look at the entire CMS, right? We're shifting our mental model, right? We're reducing our cognition. That's why this is still a design class. And said, look, when I'm focusing on video, I want to focus on video. That's what this is, right? Reduce the cognition load. Reduce the cognition load. All right. Oh, that's so awesome. Let's go. We're gonna do this. Okay. All right. Now that we've created that model, we're gonna go into content, and we're going to add in what kind of content, a video. And I only have one video file for this, so we're going to go ahead and create a new record. Right, here's our first instance of this. All right, name of this is Gino, well, world's greatest push. Okay. All right, here's Gino Iannucci pushing on a skateboard, and it's the world's greatest push, most stylish skateboarder to ever live. Just, yeah, there's looping videos of him just pushing on his skateboard, hours and hours. You can get on YouTube, and instead of having a fireplace on the TV at Christmas, I'm just gonna have Gino in the background on TV just pushing. Yeah, I'm gonna do that instead. All right. And then color set. My daughter just said, "No, you're not." All right. Then we're gonna pick a color for Gino. All right, Gino probably wants that color. No, I wouldn't. That's a good Gino color. All right. Then I'm gonna hit save on this. All right. So I've successfully uploaded it. That video is there. Okay. This is in the system now. All right. I'm gonna go into my media and just get this path so I can share it with you. I can even change some of the metadata on here. All right, copy that URL back into CodePen Pen. Okay, I'm gonna paste it right inside of there. Okay, now if you just go ahead and paste this into the URL, one of two things may happen. The video is going to play, or the video is going to attempt to download. Just look at that push. It's effortless. It's flawless. Like literally, it's the best push there ever was. Entire arguments about people would rather watch him push on a skateboard than watch anybody else do any tricks. Anyway, that's a different class. So now we have that. Okay, so back all the way into CodePen. Let's go ahead, create a new pen now. Into IO/pen. Oh, did I delete that pen? I did. All right, here. Gino's push. All right, and what element from Web 2 do we use to put video onto a page? Video, thanks.
Yeah, I was gonna say video.
All
I
right,
forgot.
we're gonna paste that into there. And we all know that it's not just gonna play. We need our controls there. And congratulations, you have now become your own Flickr. You've become your own Imgur. You've become your own YouTuber and SoundClouder. And yeah, there you go. Right. In Web 2, we worked with this media from other sources. Right now, we're saying that's all well and good, but can I be my own source? And a good example of this is the old Thrasher, right? And you take a look at Thrasher, right? What is the value of being your own, right? So a lot of these videos are coming from other sources, right? They're being distributed, but the interface, right? Their ability, take a look at the scrubber there. This is what we did in Web 2, right? The little scrubber is their icon. It also gives them the ability to do this. If you click on this button, right? It just shows video related to their content. And this is what you want to give your clients, right? Otherwise, you get to the end of a random YouTube video and who knows where it's going to take you. And right. So I'm hoping that you're seeing the benefits, right, of a CMS. I'm hoping that you're seeing what's continuing from Web 2 into Web 3. And lastly, let's go back into your projects, right? Now I'm hoping you're going to see the last part is I can take a look at your website. So you should have created a project, right, with your name from the screencast. All right, go ahead and go into that project, enter the project. Okay, so you have a project. This is going to be your website. Okay. And I forgot where they put this, but if you go to settings, okay, and like I say in Web 1 and Web 2, design does not happen on an island by yourself. Those days are over. If we go into settings here, settings up here, We go into settings. You're going to go into collaborators. Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's good user. That's good design there, right? I want you to add a collaborator. Now I can see the content that you're adding to your site. At the end of the quarter, you're going to kick me out as a collaborator, but for right now, I want to see that you're adding content to your website. At the same time, because I can access your content, right? Just like on Figma, right? I can help edit it too, and I can fix stuff. So, you know my email address, pmanikoff@ew.wtf. Just kidding. I really want that WTF domain. EW, I can't spell it. Right, and my role for right now, make me an admin. Normally you would make someone an editor. Normally you would make someone an editor. Editor just basically means like you can add content, but you can't mess up the site. I want to be able to mess up your site. So admin means I can go in and make any fixes if something is broken, like in your models. So go ahead and hit admin on that. Send an invitation email. Okay, I should get 14 of these today. That's saying like you have a collaborator on your website. And that's one of the first things I do in any project is I set up the CMS and I invite everybody to put content in and I start designing. And while they're inputting content, I can be designing at the same time and we can work in parallel, right? Because if you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for your clients to put in content, there's a better way to do this. Okay, all that said, I'm gonna stop recording.